And welcome to the first ever episode of Jack Squarepeg's Trouble Over Yonder. I'm very excited to present my players here today. We had an original name, which was called Horrible Hoedown, which I really liked because it reminded me of Horrible Histories. But Trouble Over Yonder, I don't know, man. I would watch that show. So welcome to Trouble Over Yonder. My name is Jack. You can find me on all the socials and on Twitch at Jack Squarepeg, where we do RPG edutainment, as well as the occasional video game potluck, and this, because it's happening. Look, your eyeballs, they're here. Congratulations. Well done. Don't we look cute as fuck? I'm excited. All right. So, as you can tell, this is going to be a Western program, this time zone that you are watching it in. And I'm very excited to present my players. So, let's start with Mr. Danimus. Dan, can you please tell us who you are, who you're playing, and where we can find you on the internet?
All right, well, hello, I'm Dan O'Brien. I will be playing Father Frank, or Father Francis, who is a runaway preacher who's seen too much. If you're a fan of what I do here, you can find me on Instagram at Arts and Lovecrafts.
Alrighty. Ro, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Roro, and I'll be here playing Al Stevens. You can catch me on Corsair's Cove over on Twitch on Mondays usually. You can also find me on Instagram at Crowdventurers to see photos of my dog Charlie with the large ears, photos of my many travel adventures and upcoming projects.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen. I will be playing Sadie today. You won't find me on the internet because I don't exist on the internet.
Correct. Who is Sadie and what are they about?
Oh, right. Sadie is a sweet little gun-toting rancher.
Okay, we'll find out the rest in the moment. Excellent. Cool. Marta, go ahead.
My name is Marta. I will be playing the tall, brooding phoenix. And if you're into anything 3D and or animation related, you can find me at 150.frames on Instagram.
Very cool. Alrighty, guys. So let's get straight into it. Thank you so much for watching, and let's begin. So, we have played a session here before in this lovely crew, and it may or may not be available to you. Sometimes it's just a little bit more exciting for you to go, wait, there's content that I can't, but now I'm even more intrigued. Well, you're going to have to, that's fine. I'm okay with it. But in that adventure, can I get a recap from? I saw Karen had a notebook. Are you cool with giving us an idea, a smidgen of what happened last time we got together, please?
Absolutely. All right. We found ourselves in the area called Envy Plains, very well known for its silver mining. We ended up in the Greenhorn, quite separate, but that's where we came together. It was, an interesting time. We were all looking for kind of work and that kind of stuff. And that's where we heard about the Owen brothers. So we found a map from the inside of a breastplate of a German man.
That's correct.
Oh, good.
A crazy
I'm glad.
German man who thought he was a conquistador and
oh yes,
you
that's right.
in the name of the Queen of Spain.
We had found a camp that had been destroyed. There was blood and revolvers everywhere, and it was
Indeed.
quite new when we had gotten there. We ended up coming face to face with some rough guys, Boggs, Clegg, and Buckley. The Owens
Mhm.
brothers know them. They had bounties on their heads, but
Mhm.
not huge amount. We ended up finding Jim Owen, who was a zombie,
True.
big zombie boy. He had black goop on him that tried to attach to particularly my character's face. And then
Correct.
we had
So that's a particularly important point. The black goop seemed to be what was causing this zombitude,
Zombified.
shall we say.
Zombified this.
Indeed.
So we got into a bit of a shootout, and because of that, the town obviously heard, and we were run out of the town. As we were running out of the town, Sadie, turned around and shot dead a child.
A teenager, a deputy.
A teenager. Sorry, a teenager.
Deputy. You shot the deputy.
I did not shoot the sheriff. So yes,
I did not shoot the sheriff.
so yeah, that was the ending of us running out of town with
Correct.
the death of a teenager on our hands.
Yep, there's a couple of details I want to add. Ro, I think you're probably the most appropriate to add those in. Who was the person doing the shootout and why?
Edgar Stevens was doing and he was chasing down Al, his runaway daughter.
Which is you.
And when he got there, he noticed that I was hanging out with this lot, and all of them he knew some about as well. So the shooting started. And also there was a giant plant involved.
A giant plant. Yeah, in the caves? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. In the tunnels.
Yes.
Yeah. So before we met Edgar Seasman in the tunnels of the zombified place, we came across a giant oily substance.
Kind of like a Venus flytrap, but made of
Took
oil,
over
yeah.
for a while.
Which seemed to be the source, at least in that area, of the black goop. That is a excellent combination of things. Edgar Stevens, also in Backstory Land, had a desire to have his daughter back and also have her severely punished for burning down his farmstead, which may or may not have had slaves still after the Civil War. But it's New Mexico, shut up, whatever, doesn't matter. That is how he felt about it, not how Jack feels about it, internet. Don't put words in my mouth. So
Cancelled.
it's important to clarify these things. All right. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, it is.
And just to be clear, the slaves that may or may not have been there are fine.
Correct. Yes.
With the burning.
Yeah. They were pretty pleased. In fact, they're like, "Oh, cool, we can go now. Awesome." Yeah. They're like, "Oh no, the boss's house is burned. What will we do?" Well, so sad. Goodbye. So it is 1892. We started about 6 months before. Let me see if I've got my math right. Nailed it. We started in February 1892. It is now August 1892. And you, my fine folks, Sadie, Al, Phoenix, and Father Frank, have found yourselves going quite far to escape the arm of the law. All of you have had either real or misunderstood sins, and you have done things since that in order to survive, that you would certainly be at least put in jail for. We find ourselves far away from the desert of New Mexico and see our outlaws, colloquially known on the wanted posters, fortunately quite far away from here, as the Shroud. The Shroud make their way up through snow that is up to their calves at this time. And you folks have to eat. As such, you have a deal going with someone by the name of Dennis Hartman, who is a bounty hunter and is also shit. You are not that. He gets the bounties, he takes a percentage, and more importantly, he gets the credit. But the work is done by you all, which is where you are today, looking for the O'Reilly gang. Now, you have been hot on the tails of this gang for what feels like a month. And you have gone from the plains to the snow to unbearable cold. And I would like to know what you guys look like and what you are doing. Let's start in reverse order this time. Phoenix, can you tell me what you look like, what you might be wearing, and what you are currently doing, given the information I've given you? And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might like.
Okay, so Phoenix, their hair has probably grown out a touch, but they've also tried to cut it themselves in the meantime. So it's a little choppy, but you know, nothing a bit of water and a comb through it won't fix. They're probably they've got quite a heavy coat on at this point because it is sort of actually it's August, isn't it?
Correct.
So,
however,
apologies.
You are in, I was going to reveal this, but I'll tell you for context, you are in the mountains of Colorado at this time.
Oh, so I got it right.
So, well, it's August, but what I'm saying is like the Colorado mountains don't really care. I mean, like it's still not great. It's still better than it would be in, say, November, but it's still not fun.
Look, not the heaviest of coats then, but just like a decent woolen kind of tweedy looking coat over their usual three-piece. And they would probably be just kind of sitting and serving. I think just people watching, seeing what's going on.
Okay, so as in looking at your companions? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, just observing.
Okay, all right, no worries. So since you said you're sitting, why don't we assume that you are taking a quick coffee break then? So you quickly find your packs and you sit down, and the hot liquid is probably more the reason that you did it, more than the sludge that you call coffee at this stage. However, given that that is happening, what is Sadie? What does Sadie look like? What are they wearing and what are they doing?
Sadie has quite long dark hair. That having not being able to like do anything with it has probably just let it go a bit wild. She has it probably up in like a ponytail of some sort just to kind of keep it out of her face. She wears basically just like a bunch of skirts that with and quite a nice blouse that has like several big jumpers and jackets and blankets and stuff over her. She feels the cold 120%. And she is actually like observing to look for food. She is definitely like a hunter kind, and she's got a, you know, she's the long shot, so she has a better chance of finding something.
All right, no problem. Let's go with Al then.
Al is a strongly built woman. She's got a plait down her back, which you probably wouldn't notice from the front. She often gets mistaken as a cowboy rather than a cowgirl, and she doesn't correct people on that. But when she turns her face, she has scarring covering most of her face and along, well, it looks like it goes down through her neck as well. She is currently she's wearing a coat that's slightly nicer than you would expect for this situation. But it's obviously been used for a long time. So it's like a nice
Faded.
quality
Yeah.
coat. But it's, yeah. And she is holding the coffee mug in her hands and like doing like a little bit of a stomp with her feet as well and swearing under her breath about the cold. Because yeah, she's not a fan of
One
it either.
benefit to the travel situation would be that these cups would be made of tin or some other kind of metal, which would mean that the heat also kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of bounces off itself. So like, though it actually kind of burns, you could if you so chose, you could kind of go like that, and it would hurt a little bit until you're like, the cold's worse, so fuck it. So, yeah. So you do that. And finally, Father Francis, what you doing? What you look like? What you up to?
So Father Francis is probably wearing a probably thick hooded robe from his seminary days. Cradling his coffee, sitting down in the snow. That kind of covers him up from head to toe, so that'll do for physical description.
All right.
And yeah, he's probably very quiet at the moment, just doing the whole tortured soul routine, thinking about how he got here.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Karen, Sadie, since you said you were hunting, let's cut to you. What would you like? What skill would you like to use? First roll of the campaign, guys. What skill would you like to use to find something to hunt?
Well, I can either use track or spot hidden. I'm good at either of them.
Tracking is fine.
So
Go ahead.
Which dice? The Cthulhu dice. Always the Cthulhu dice. Oh, I think I succeeded. Yes, a normal success.
Excellent. All right. Well, I was going to talk about this, but this is actually a perfect time. While Karen is doing this, I assume everybody has, I believe at the time when we did the last game, I asked you to tick the boxes of the things you succeeded. Does everyone still have those? Excellent. So, Karen, you're going to be focusing on this, but the rest of you, how this works is we're going to do a little level up in the background, okay? There is a word for it in Call of Cthulhu, but I can't remember. We're going to call it level up. That's what it is. 1 hero development phase later. Oh, let's find out about some level ups. How did we go?
I improved on my fighting brawl and my spot
Okay.
hidden.
What is your fighting brawl now?
So both of them went up. Everything else I went under. My fighting brawl is now
Nice.
66, and my spot hidden is now 75.
Woohoo! Good stuff. Okay, excellent.
But all the other stuff I had rolled under.
Okay.
Do we now get rid of those ticks and stuff? Or do
Correct.
we keep them
We
for
start
next
again.
time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Dan, how'd you go?
I am bereft of love from the dice gods, so I have not progressed in anything.
Oh, that's a shame. That's all right. Well, this is where we talk about house rules for the future. Always remember that if you get an extreme failure or an extreme success, that you can choose to not roll for those and just put 5 points in. That is an option. But it means that essentially you lose the ability to be really, to get higher.
I, on the other hand, appear to be rolling terribly today, so it's really helped in leveling up. So I've got first aid, intimidate.
What's your first aid now? Give me the numbers.
So it's 39 for first aid.
39 for first aid. Okay.
My intimidate is 47.
Wow. Okay.
Psychology went up to 45. Ride
Nice.
went up to 44.
Nice.
Spot hidden's on 49. stealth is on 58. I'm surprised at how many of these I used last time. And I think
It was an
my
action-packed
throw.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my throw went up to 25.
Nice. That's a nice assortment. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, excellent. So, yeah, you guys are all
Do you wanna
clutching
know
your
mine?
coffee. Yes, please. I didn't realize you
I've already done
it.
it. Smashed it over here. No, sorry, I play Cthulhu like it's a dream. So I got my firearms are
I
up
want
to
to
80.
interrupt for a second. So, internet, Karen and I are really old friends, and am I right in saying I could be wrong, but I introduced the game to you, Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah, Cthulhu. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And now we both really like it a lot, and this is a big reason why I did the show, because I knew she would be good at showing off the game to everybody. So yes, please go ahead.
So my firearms have gone to 80.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 98 when I was leveling up
Yeah.
to that. So woo!
Good
My
stuff.
spot hidden is now at 73. My stealth is at 59,
Nice.
and my track is at 45.
Wow, well done. Okay, cool, excellent. Okay, so how did you go on tracking, Karen? Just a standard success?
Just a
Excellent,
normal
cool.
success, yeah.
All right, now I want you to roll a d20, please.
Ooh.
Did the keeper prepare for something? Oh, my lord.
Oh, 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hear a slight branch snap in and amongst the snowy sounds. And you see a deer bending down.
Sick. I get to kill Bambi. Bambi's mom? Amazing.
You're the one I wanted to hunt.
Yeah, I just... Yeah, 100%. You just gave me Bambi's mum straight away.
You rolled for a deer!
I know. I'm joking. I will, I would have had my gun ready, having been a hunter several times in my life. So I will just...
Can I get an
breathe out
intelligence check real
and
quick,
shoot.
though?
I rolled a 4, so yeah.
You are tracking your outlaw bounty. The gunshot is definitely going to give you away.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm like, and sneak up with a knife in my hand.
Okay, understood. Cool. Give me a stealth check.
Regular success.
Regular. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where, ladies and gentlemen, of the audience and other, this is where we talk about content warnings and things like that. This game, and I apologize that I didn't do it before. I will make a note of it. This adventure, and it will be noted in the comments, obviously can have some violence. It will be described as such. The players know that if anything gets too much for them, that all they need to do is make an X, and I recommend that you use the same thing so that I can figure out what they need to move forward, and then we just kind of fast forward through it. On that note, content warning, this narrative will also, along with violence, will contain scenes of cannibalism and death, possibly involving children. So please keep that in mind. It will not be active, however, it is worth noting. So, players, if there is anything that you are not comfortable with, just private message me. This is me letting the audience know this is a real game. It does happen. And this is me finding out what the players are comfortable or not comfortable with. That said, I rolled a fumble for the deer. So the deer absolutely does not notice as you get within stabbing distance.
Yeah, I just, it's a clean kill. It is a practiced hand that has done this. So it's an incredibly clean, the deer doesn't even know that it's dead by the time that it's dead sort of thing. It's just quiet and very, very, efficient.
I'll accept that with a fumble. Yeah. So just you do hear a faint gasp, a sort of, and then it lays down into the ground, starting to leak onto the snow.
Sick. I will chuck it over my shoulder and head back towards the camp where my friends are.
Alrighty, no problem. As you guys are basically finishing your first cup and possibly pouring your second of sludge, you hear a okay. So
I have a strength of
you hear
35. This is not a fun time for me.
Okay. You hear several feminine gruntings as Sadie comes back with a whole ass deer. That was maybe slumped over her shoulder at some point, but the head of it is very much submerged in snow at this point.
I got dinner.
So it's just kind of like this, like.
My word. Would you like a hand?
Yeah, yes, please. I'm not very good at this.
What is she like 2 meters
right?
from the fire?
Yeah, look, if you can lift it over there so I can get ready to, like, gut it and shit for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Frank toddles over to give her a hand.
Yeah. I'm like awkwardly like it's because I am so not I have no strength. It's literally like a bucket of just like cement on you because I'm just like take it.
Yep. You sink a little into the snow, Dan.
That's a fine beast you've managed to snag there.
It will feed us for a couple of days, which is good because we're gonna need it.
I do believe we've all lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're on the run. Yeah, I just start carving up the deer, just like in the corner, busying myself, skinning it, you know, just very practiced hand of I've done this so many times and probably so many times for this group.
Gotcha.
Frank will give her some space.
Yeah. Are you guys? What are we doing? Where are we going next?
You are currently tracking the O'Reilly gang. You have a trail, but it is come towards the...
We have a trail?
Well, based on the fact that you gave me the prompt that you're sitting down, let's assume it's towards the end of the day and traveling through the dark in wild mountain territory seems like a good way to get killed.
Perfect. I will retract that question and be like, all right, are we going to set up camp here?
Well, I guess so. We don't have much choice now, do we?
Well, we can keep moving. I can cut it into smaller bits.
I ain't never getting used to that shit.
Right?
I'll go move to the other side of the fire. Like,
it's just me.
You can move away from the visual. You can't move away from the smell, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
The sound.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, she's just gonna like put her nose in the cup.
I feel like Phoenix is probably going to be still sitting there and watching Sadie just skin this like a cat kind of vibe. But just in a very amused manner, with her head tilted to the side, just taking notes.
Yeah, I can gut a fish in 5 seconds.
Good to know.
Watch me go. As I'm like cutting up the meat and watching like the various disgust go across people's face, I'm just like elbow deep into deer guts, and I'm like, we should probably take out the fire, right? They'll be able to find us if we got the fire at night.
What? But don't you want to cook your deer?
Yeah, well, I can cook it on the charcoal, so it don't need to be an active fire.
Well, the sun is going down, and we are about, I don't know about you guys, but knee deep in snow.
I will
I'm
say
about
this:
elbow deep in
you
deer.
guys have interacted with them before. You've taken down a couple, which is less money than taking them alive. Your horses are nearby, and they are, dealing with the temperature as best they can, kind of face deep in their feed bags. And the situation is basically, if you wanted to do a fire for warmth and things like that, there would be certain rolls that you would have to make for survival and such. Or it's basically a question of how you want to approach, because it has been at least a day since you've seen them. You've just been basically following their trail. They're trying to get away from you.
Do we know if they're close to us?
You are gaining on them. I would
Like-
say that based on your collective tracking skills, you also somewhat know the wilderness fairly well. And these dudes are train robbers. This is not their area at all. And they went here hoping they would lose you. Specifically because it's awful. Awful here. So
That's a good place to do. You don't want to be followed, jump into a volcano. So I posed the question. I'm just like, so are we gonna sleep or are we gonna keep walking? Because if they've stopped for the night, it might be a good idea to jump on them when they're not prepared.
Well, perhaps if we finish preparing the dinner, then at least we can jump them on a full stomach.
Right.
And if we got that fire going, I reckon they're gonna think that we're still at camp rather than on the way to them.
That's an incredible idea.
So I'm going to give you inspiration, Marta. That's a really good idea. So how I rule inspiration is basically you roll with a bonus die when you choose. Okay.
Well, that's a fantastic idea, and I did not think of it. So A+, and it'll also keep our horses warm, I suppose. Can't let them freeze to death out here. But all right, I'll just look. I won't cut it all up. I'll just shove it in the snow so it can cool down, and I'll just cut up a piece for us to be able to cook and eat, and then I just bury the rest of the deer in the snow.
Nature's fridge.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And I'm like, that will last 20 years. Thank God.
For the rest of you, who I get the feeling are less wildernessy than Sadie is, you watch this snow that was once white and pristine become pink very quickly. It's an interesting sight. You've seen it probably a few times, but actually maybe not, because I get the feeling that you would have probably tried to avoid the snow. You've seen corpses and things like that of various animals that have had to be killed. This is a new one. This is interesting collage of color.
All right, do we have any seasoning left? I can't remember. Hang on. And I just start cooking it up. And it is the driest, saddest piece of deer ever.
No worries. As you guys enjoy your meal, is there anything you wanted to say or do or be while you were eating? Anything you wanted to bring up? Or do we want to just move along?
Can I do an animal handling check to check on the horses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course you can. Okay.
To see that they're kind of happy, and because I think the implication was that we're going to potentially leave them here if we go ahead.
Yep. That makes sense.
Oh God. I like games where you roll high.
You're only saying that because you're rolling high.
That was a
if you were rolling low, you'd be fine.
That was called an extreme fail.
Critical fail.
So, but you punched the horse.
You rolled a fumble.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Is
okay.
it
No. I'm not going to punish you for that. You're not on opium. You're all good. Okay. So, all right. So what I'm going to say is with a animal handling, which one is can I get I've got the various horses, but can I get reminders of the horses' names for the audience, please, and what they look like?
My horse is named Shadow, and it's a
Yep.
mostly white horse with a black, coming up from under its front and across its back, so it looks like a shadow has kind of come across it.
My horse is called Constance. She is a forgetting the name. Big
Clydesdale.
horse. Clydesdale.
Clydesdale.
It was the horse that the monastery used to pull the plow, and I used her when I ran away.
Sadie also has a Clydesdale, except her Clydesdale is called Annabelle, or Annie for short, and is white with like brown patches all over her, and yeah.
So my horse is called Barbara, Barbie for short, and she is a mostly black horse, just with mottled bits of like greyish white patches all over.
Excellent. Okay. Can I get Ro to roll a d4 for me, please?
Mm-hmm. 1.
1. Okay. So Constance looks miserable, and inside her feed bag, she seems to be having a little.
Like there's something in there, or that she's got something in her throat?
Well, how do you determine that?
I honestly thought Jack was trying to
Can I have a
stifle a
look
cough
in
there.
No, that's what she's doing.
Good acting.
Who's acting? I'll have a look in her feed
Yeah.
bag.
She's got
Please.
something yellow in both her nostrils. Big old globules of snot.
Does someone... Constance don't look so good,
Oh,
y'all.
Frank will go over pretty quickly.
Okay.
What seems to be the matter?
Or like gesture towards the horse.
Oh dear. I guess Frank will roll up a sleeve and try to clear the blockage.
Okay. You're gonna have to pinch.
In? Okay.
That was 1.
Oh, good.
The second one I will spare you from, but they are basically deformed sausages of snot. She is not well, and you can see blood on the back end.
Oh, my poor girl. What is happening to you? He gently strokes her neck as he tries to think of what to do.
Could I use a first aid roll for a horse?
Yeah, if you like.
Do luck points go back to
Oh yeah.
total
Oh
when you do
yes.
the,
Let's talk about luck. Okay, so because it's been a second. How luck works is it's 1d. You have to roll for your luck. Okay, and if you get over, it is actually. Let me quickly bring up the Pulp Cthulhu rulebook. It's a race, guys. You can find it faster than me. One luck refresh later.
I went from 52 to 65.
65. Dan, what's your number now?
I'm sitting on 40.
40. Okay. All right. So things are going to get interesting.
I don't have luck with dice.
Karen.
I am on 72.
72. Okay, cool.
I got a
Alrighty.
fuck ton of luck.
All right. So he's on 40. Don't maybe chill. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I don't have any luck.
Yeah. All right. So, Ro, you have spent how much luck to succeed?
11.
Okay, that's what luck's for,
So
baby. Let's go.
I
All right. So yeah.
see that.
How do you help this horse get them the fuck out of the cold? ASAP. This is a head cold, but it's clearly like affecting their sinuses and therefore their ability to breathe. And Constance is going to need care and probably someone to look at them to give them the appropriate medication, which means that you're probably going to have to wrap this up sooner rather than later.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna like pass that on, and then I'll try and move Constance as close to the fire.
Yeah,
as I
that was my
can,
thinking.
Oh.
and see if I can find a blanket
Yeah.
to put over her as well.
Okay. Excellent. Can I ask a question, Al? Given that 6 months have passed and you guys have been working together ever since then, what is your general feelings towards the father at this point, given what?
Oh, sorry, you're talking about this father, not my father.
No, not the father hunting you.
Okay.
That's fairly cut and
I was
dry.
like,
Father
Yeah.
issues all around.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, he's alright. He's a little bit soft.
Yep.
But generally, he's alright.
Do you believe that he
I'm
killed
not
the
sure if
child?
Well, there is an element of she thinks he's soft and couldn't have done that kind of thing, but there's an element of is that an act? So she's got a little bit of wariness around him as well.
That makes sense. All right, cool. Good to know. So you lead Constance there. I would be curious, how does Al, because presumably you have to announce this information to everybody, how does Al kind of give the information that I just gave to the group, so to speak?
Y'all, Constance ain't doing so well. She got to get back in the heat soon. I mean, I guess she got like a horse cold.
Can she breathe?
But she needs the warmth. Well, not very well. A little bit better now, thanks to the father. That was gross.
Oh. Right.
We better get cracking on
Inspiration, bro.
Thanks.
That was gross.
Well, if that's the case, maybe we should actually look at trying to get them tonight.
I agree.
Agreed.
What you need to do is, if you can get them tonight, and then you should probably find the closest town there is that accepts bounties.
Yeah.
You were going to meet up with Dennis Hartman, but you might have to take the risk in just dumping him yourself because you need this medicine ASAP.
All right. Well, we can leave all the horses here. If we gather them all around the fire and we'll lay them around the fire, they can use each other for heat as well. And then we could quickly, go do what we need to do and then, come back. It may mean we're not sleeping for the next, 24 hours, but we got coffee.
That's probably
I mean,
the best.
ain't you used to not sleeping yet?
I love to sleep, even if I don't get it. So, I'm upset that I'm used to not sleeping, but it's very different when it's cold, Like, the cold makes you want to sleep more. I was just giving everyone a heads up that it's probably going to be a long-ass time before we find some rest.
Well,
Okay, so real quick, as you guys gather your horses by the fire and do what you need to do and get your weaponry and get set to leave and follow the trail that you were already following, Phoenix, you've been quiet. Tell me what's going on with you, baby.
Honestly, Phoenix is probably mostly just thinking what Cleo's up to at the moment. Is she safe? Is
Yeah,
she all right? I'm a bit far from
yeah.
her. That reunion was a little too quick for me. But at the same time, they're probably thinking, where is this even going? Where are we going? You know, we're stuck in the
So
cold up in a
the
mountain.
question then, I suppose, is I imagine Phoenix is probably weighing up when is a good time to bring back heading back to New Mexico way,
Absolutely. Yeah.
which is not necessarily going to be an easy conversation. So let's leave it at that as you're kind of clenching your jaw, thinking about how you're going to bring this up to them as you
Mhm.
guys trail through the snow. I will accept tracking and or stealth. If you are doing tracking, please consider it a combination with your stealth. So it's a combined roll, just a single roll. Compare it to both. And if there's anything in addition you want to do, let me know.
Could I
Yes,
could I use spot hidden to look for like signs of them
sure. Yeah, yeah.
rather than
I would say
tracking?
spot hidden in this case would be to make sure they don't try and ambush you, which is a fair thing in this case.
So is that two?
Sorry.
So it's
Sorry, no,
100 dice row, and you're comparing it to your stealth and your spot hidden.
both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
it's called a combined roll, which doesn't really exist in Call of Cthulhu, but I think it's a little mean to ask for separate rolls for separate skills. So it's more likely you'll succeed this way. Cool. So how did we do?
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so that's a pass on both, therefore, presumably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'm trained in both, so yeah. It's
How
an
did
extreme
Francis
success
go?
on both.
Regular success.
Okay, for both.
Oh, I have to roll
Oh no,
twice.
sorry, you're just stealthing, aren't you? You're just stealthing, aren't you? Never mind. Yep. Cool. So just tick stealth for me.
Okay.
Excellent. Cool. Marta, you just stealthing, or were you doing anything else?
I think I'd probably try my hand at tracking as well. Seeing
Okay.
if it's
How
helpful.
did you go then?
Well, I rolled a
Did
10.
you pass both?
I rolled a 10,
Okay.
so I
So
just passed my track and extreme success
amazing.
on my stealth.
There you go. This is why we do combined rolls, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yes, tick both, please. Excellent. Good job.
I had a regular success on
Both. Fantastic. So you tick both of those, right? So you guys start heading through, following the trail. What's interesting is that you, and this is worth noting, the leader, the one worth the actual cash, is worth $50, dead or alive. He has been known to essentially, he is a hitman, essentially. Very dangerous dude. Has been used and unfortunately, well, depending on your point of view, caught by the law. He has been hired as a sort of Wild West privateer for certain companies. Maybe a certain Stevens might have hired him in the past to essentially bully the competition or kill them if they don't comply with the request to get the fuck off our land. He has unfortunately been dobbed in or outlived his usefulness, and he now has a bounty on his head. He had, after the last encounter where you took out two of them and they took off into the mountains proper, you saw that they had 4 tracks of horses. Sorry, no, there were 6, and now there are 4. which
That
I
works
would
out.
say Snowfall has as in there were the fight happened. There were 8, then there were 6, and now there are 4. And Snowfall has happened in such a way that you're kind of confused by that, but you hope that you're essentially on the right trail. They seem to have split off somewhere.
Fuck.
Right.
Shit.
But we don't see where the other 2 split off. We only see that it goes from 6 to 4.
There was an extreme success, wasn't there? For
Me.
tracking. Yeah. So I would say you catch the semblance of it. This is interesting because he's definitely heading further up, which is very dangerous, especially on horseback. 2 sets have gone, and this guy is very good at covering his tracks. So the thing is, and you don't only discovered this because you rolled an extreme success, someone who is good at covering their tracks and is willing to put themselves like at risk has fucked off. And 4 others have basically kind of done like a sort of semicircle, hoping they can kind of get around you and head back down the mountain. However, the thing is about the 2 that have split off, that's a very dangerous ride and further into wilderness.
Well, we're not riding. We've left our horses.
Correct. Which means you are now slow as well, and presumably lanterns and such.
Well, I don't think the 4 has who we're looking for. I think the 2. If you're desperate, you go up a mountain, right? You'll make it as hard as possible for the people that are tracking you to track you.
I fear you may be.
So the question is, do you want to lock in to this who you think is the prime bounty and spend a lot of time chasing him and danger, or do you want to go for the softer ones for less money and possibly information?
There's still a bounty on the other's head.
Correct.
And
They're $10 a head.
There's 4 of
Constance
them.
We need to get that horse back down to a town soon. Why don't we go for the 4 and try our luck on them, and then, we've been tracking him for a while. We'll find him again if we need to.
And if we've scared him enough, he's probably just going to stay up that mountain until we come back.
Plus, if we can get information out of them, that's worth something too.
Right. All right, we're going for soft boys.
Okay.
Let's go for the soft
Okay.
boys.
Can we, with any of those successes that we had before, can we determine when these horse hoofprints would have been left?
Fairly recently.
Or is that
They have continued into the night, whereas you stopped.
Right.
Alrighty. So
Well,
you
let's
guys
go.
Do you
follow
all-
the semicircle around with the 4 sets. Okay, cool. Is there anything else you wanted to say? I heard that there was a bit of conversation there.
I was just gonna. Do you all think we can catch up to them without the horses, though?
Well, the snow is rather deep. I imagine they're not going too much faster.
And we would be a horse down. Which means that one of our horses, most likely Annabelle, would be carrying 2 people, and even though she's a big horse, it would slow her down further.
All right. Well, let's keep going and go fast.
I have
Okay.
a question, Jack.
Hey, mate.
They seem to be going in a semicircle. It's like around a mountain.
Correct. So they've gone north, and then these 2 tracks have split off. Clearly, there was some sort of point of contention here, and the other 4.
Oh, it was
have-
more just that.
Yeah.
Would, in my big brain, think it would be possible to, instead of following them around the semicircle, to meet them on the other side. Plan an ambush.
Theoretically, but it would be based on guesswork on your part.
Right. Okay. I don't say anything this whole time. I'm just like thinking it to myself, and then I just go with the crew.
They're going in a certain direction. It's fairly decent guesswork. Basically,
Right.
it's a question to you of where you think they would have gone. Do you think they are leaving and splitting off so that they can camp another night, or do you think they're still traveling as you speak?
Right.
And so our heroes venture forth, on horseback with deer in tow, aiming to pincer the O'Reillys from all sides. So, as you guys head forward and come around, I do need a luck roll from Mr. Dan.
Oh,
This
no.
is when we go under our current luck to see if our outlaws are out in the open or in town already.
So I had to roll under 40. I got 18.
Woohoo! You did it. Okay, cool.
It happens.
You do so. You start coming around, and you can hear the grunts of exertion and the occasional fucking goddamn shit as they start to make their way through the snow. Instinctually, all of you turn off your lanterns if you happen to have them. You've caught up to them. If the intention is to ambush them, I do need a stealth check. But this is a group check, as long as the majority pass, okay?
I had a success.
I just missed.
I am using luck.
So you've
to
got
have a
luck.
success.
Oh, actually, I had better than a success. I had a
Hard success?
extreme.
You know what's
Extreme.
No, I
Okay.
think, I think so.
How much luck are you spending, Dan?
Yeah, let me just double check.
4
Yeah,
points.
extreme.
Okay, still above 30. Good. Okay. So a success, a extreme success, a regular success. Phoenix, what'd you get?
Hard success.
Hard success.
Damn,
All of a
that's
sudden,
2 in a row.
4 of you are on different points. I would like you guys to describe where you guys are at. What is the situation here? Let's start with Father Francis. Are you up the front? Are you up the back? What are you doing?
I feel like Constance would be trailing at the back. She's not doing as well as the other horses.
Excellent. Okay. Phoenix, whereabouts are you? I assume this is like a circle around these 4 dudes.
Yeah, no, flanking one of the sides for sure. So Phoenix will probably
Excellent.
be. Let's go for the left.
Are you like what kind of weapon do you use?
I've got a handgun. I'm pretty sure.
Handgun. So you do want to be right up there, right up in
Listen,
their grill.
I want to be
Full range.
like aimed and ready on the sides.
Definitely. Cool. No worries. So I think Phoenix might be the first person that they see theoretically, and then they're gonna go. Ugh. Karen, you are a sniper, is Sadie correct? So
Yes.
So did you want to use that ability, or do you want to be more of a
Absolutely.
presence?
No, I am 100% being like the scary monster in the back that no one sees. So
Gotcha.
I have
Okay.
positioned.
So it's like a triangle of 3 folks, and
yeah.
you're sort of like where they can see, sort of up on the hill, sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm just sitting on Annabelle, like whenever you see her on her horse, she lays flat whenever she's shooting. And she's just
which gives you a
laying
bonus
down
die, isn't it?
and-
So there you go.
Ooh, I didn't realize that, but that was me.
If you go
Just being
prone, you
cool.
get a bonus die to shooting. Yeah.
Well, sick. Yeah. So I've definitely gone prone, and like you all see like the head tilt
Right.
to all of you.
Okay,
So,
and I got the feeling that Al is probably leading this based on her natural intimidation. So, Al, tell me how this goes down. All of a sudden, all 3 are around. They've got weapons. You guys' weapons are drawn. These guys go, huh, and they seem to go for their weapons. What are you doing?
I strongly suggest you drop it and put those hands in the fucking air.
And I think we'll leave it there. That was
Nice.
good. All right.
Nice.